so another question from online is, she says, how do I stress less with meal prep? I either buy too much, which goes bad, or I buy too little, and then I end up going through the drive-thru. Like, how do I go about this meal prepping? There are a lot of people that don't do well with meal prepping, and that is totally fine. So we just have to find something that works well for you. Okay, so my suggestion is to buy in bulk stuff like frozen vegetables. Okay, so broccoli, green beans, mixed vegetables, all of those. One, you can steam them, which doesn't take hardly any time at all. Peas, or you can cook them from frozen. You roast them in the oven, which is super, super easy. I have a ton of reels about that, but if you need to know how, let me know and I can tag you in them. So that would be my suggestion, is getting stuff that is not fresh, but is fresh. So the frozen vegetables are a great idea. You can grab them out of your freezer while you're prepping your meat. You can just steam them, roast them, whatever that looks like. You can also freeze leftovers. So I'm a big soup, stew, roast, that type of person. And usually what I do is I try to make a big batch of whatever it is that I'm making. And then I take at least 2 servings of that and I put it in the freezer. And that way you can just grab them and get them ready when you need them. So let's say it's a Monday, your Tuesday is going to be really busy. You grab one of those out of the freezer, you just put it in your fridge. It's mostly defrosted by the time dinner time comes around. You spend 15 minutes heating it up and then you're ready to go. Another thing that I do is I get things that don't go bad as easily. So I used to be a really big spinach person, but I've come to love romaine more because it lasts a whole lot longer than spinach. So what I do with spinach is I save that for when I make my smoothies, or I save it for when I'm making soups or stews or sautés, and that's when I throw it in there, and I just use it from frozen. I don't buy frozen spinach. I don't like the texture, the consistency of it. It's like wilted and weird. So what I do is I buy fresh spinach, I put it in a plastic bag with a paper towel, suck the air out of it, and I freeze it like that. And that way it's just the consistency and the freshness of it is a little bit better. So I use my spinaches for stuff like soups, stews, and smoothies. And then I use my romaine when I cook vegetables. So I buy one of those, or cook vegetables, eat like salads and stuff like that. So I buy a 3-pack of romaine. I chop it up all at once. I put it in a big bowl in the refrigerator, and it lasts for, it can last for anywhere from 7 to 10 days, honestly, depending how fast you're eating it too. So stuff like cucumber, carrots, peppers, those all last longer in the fridge, even cut up. So like prep them all at once. If you cut up 3 peppers, a bunch of carrots, celery if you like celery. I actually really like celery, but I don't really tend to eat nut butters that much. So celery is a great option if you're eating nut butters. You can just grab celery, nut butter, throw those 2 together, super easy to go. So I think people tend to think, I'll tell you right now, if you have my meal prep, my free meal prep guide for busy moms, there's like no recipes in there. It's basically roast your vegetables, make a carb if you want a carb, and make your meat. That's basically what it is. And that's basically how I eat at home too. So I feel like if people are meal prepping with recipes all the time, it gets very daunting and very overwhelming. I would say what I do cook with recipes would be stuff like my protein pancakes, my zucchini bread bake, my protein zucchini bread breakfast bake. It is super easy to put stuff like yogurt, overnight oats, chia seed pudding, all of those, make all of those like 5 to 6 servings at once and just have them ready for the week. You can also hard-boiled eggs. So you could do 12 eggs and you've got 6 days worth of eggs right there. And then you can mix and match a lot of these things too. So you could take eggs, peppers, cucumbers, put it all together in one bowl, sprinkle a little bit of, the everyday bagel seasoning on it, maybe a splash of olive oil, and then you're ready to go. Yesterday and the day before, what I did for lunch was I had some chicken. So chicken, roast a bunch of chicken at once. When it's done, cut it all up, put it in the fridge. You've got chicken for at least 5 days. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a recipe. It doesn't have to be something super super daunting, that takes a lot of ingredients too. That's another one of my pet peeves about recipes, is they tend to like ask for a ingredients that like maybe you don't use very much, and then you're stuck with this ingredient, and then what are you supposed to do with it, right? So you can make it more simple. I'm not a huge deli meat person, kind of like freaks me out just a little bit, but there are some good brands out there, and there's some good quality ones out there too. So you're not just eating like processed meat that's just gross. Costco has a great organic turkey that I absolutely love. It's sliced. It's not weird. It's not slimy. It tastes good. It comes in a 3-pack, and it's seriously the same price as buying 1 pack at a regular grocery store. I only like one brand of roast beef, and that, if you live in the South, it's the Publix brand, and it's the Greenwise roast beef. It has no weird ingredients, no artificial anything. It has no gums added to it. It's basically roast beef and some seasonings. That's it. I love that. Snacking cheeses are also great. So stuff like the Fontina, which you guys have seen me, I love it. It's like in little, it's kind of like the Baby Bells. It's in these little octagon things like this, not a circle, but an octagon. I think that's what it's called. And you just peel the cover off and eat it. If you can't do dairy cheeses, you can always go with a goat cheese. Okay, so I've definitely been known to grab some of my roast beef, grab a hunk of goat cheese, grab a handful of peppers, and that's my lunch. Or dinner, whichever one works, right? So it doesn't have to be complicated. I feel like we make it more complicated than it needs to be. So just stick with something simple. Like, what are the proteins that you like? Make a big batch of those. So you can roast 2 pounds of chicken while you cook 2 pounds of ground beef into hamburgers, and then you have a bunch of meat for the week. And at the same time, you can hard boil some eggs. You've got the hamburgers here, or maybe you can throw them on the grill, which is even better. And then you can hard boil some eggs. Tastes better. There's some people like grilling, some people don't. I say whatever, just do what you like to do. And then you've got your chicken. Okay, so season that chicken really good with whatever seasoning that you like. Is it lemon pepper? I'm a huge fan of Salt Sisters. If you've never had any of the seasoning from Salt Sisters, I highly suggest it. They're phenomenal. Sprinkle some Salt Sisters on there, or just salt and pepper, and then you can mix and match maybe like some Caesar dressing on it, or some ranch, or some balsamic, or some honey mustard. I'm a Primal Kitchen girl. You guys know that. It's the only salad dressing that I eat is Primal Kitchen. Even I'm in South Dakota right now, and I even traveled here with my balsamic from Primal Kitchen. So once again, let me kind of rewind a little bit. Back to your basics and make it easy on yourself. Stick with frozen things. Stick with easy grab and go things. Stop worrying about recipes so much and freeze things. Make a big batch of pancakes, keep half out, freeze the other half. Okay, you just want to put parchment paper in between them so you can just grab them off easily and they're not sticking to each other. Same thing with my breakfast bake. Before I left, I double batched it, and I cooked it in one of those Pyrexes that was this big. And I made it, I purposely did this, so I have 2 left over for when I get home. Okay, so when I get home, so I don't have to worry about cooking immediately, I have 2 of my zucchini protein breakfast bakes ready to go. I keep frozen blueberries in my freezer. I get fresh ones for my kids. Rarely do I eat them. Usually I'm throwing the frozen blueberries on my yogurt. So hopefully that helped with you guys. If you are ever part of any of my groups, I also, or if you're staying on this app, you can go into the community and the recipe part, the Nutrition for Busy Moms. I have a protein bar recipe up there too that is just unbelievable. It's kind of like a midday square if you've ever had one of those before, but you get way more protein within each square depending on what type of protein powder that you use. Speaking of protein powders, and I'll go into this a little bit